right, so welcome to day 4 of the April challenge. I have lots of ideas in my head, and I hope you will continue to join me throughout the whole month. And I am already warmed up. I already have my loop band or booty band around my knees, so that you don't have to see me ungracefully do that on camera. And if you've seen any of my at-home workouts, you know that sometimes dogs and cats are involved. That may happen. Makes it a little bit more fun and interesting maybe for you. All right, I'm going to demonstrate the 3 exercises one more time, and then I will go through 25 reps of each exercise, and then you can decide how many reps you want to do. One set is 125 reps. 4 sets is 500, so 500 would be more to the advanced or consistent exerciser. 1 to 2 repetition or sets would be for like beginners, and like maybe 3-ish sets would kind of be ideal for intermediate people or people who don't have too much time or energy today. I am going to use, instead of my handy dandy rope band that I love so much, I have 1 pound sandbags for my ankle weights. And since I pretty much don't use the ankle weights these days, I'm going to use this in addition as opposed to, see, I can find my words, as opposed to using like 3-pound dumbbells, my band, water bottles, or soup cans, which are all great options for to use based on how you're feeling, how strong you are, that sort of thing. But let's go over exercise number 1, and it is just a bicep curl to an overhead press with a twist. Now, I would say you don't have to pivot, but I'm a pivoter. Years of kickboxing has made me a pivoter, so I'm going to pivot. So you can't see my feet, but I'm going to pivot, like push that heel out, ball of my foot. And you do whatever feels natural to you. If just doing this and this with a little rotation at the waist feels good to you, great. If you want to get that lower body a little bit more involved, then I want you to pivot as you turn. But toes are going to be pointed out. So again, exercise 1 is going to be pivot or no pivot. Bicep curl, overhead press, that's a pivot. That's a no pivot, but there's a little rotation to kind of get the abs involved. Bicep curl, overhead press, bicep curl, overhead press. Okay, exercise number 2 is this 90 degree stance where one toe is pointing forward, the other toe is pointing outward, and you're not necessarily pointing forward, you're not pointing that direction, you're pointing like part way through. If you're standing in a box, then you're pointing towards that corner there, or that corner there. Feet should be wide. For me, my feet are really, really wide, and I have the band around my thighs to make my glutes activate. You don't have to do this with the band. You figure out which works best for you. And in the first video for day number 2, I just had you doing like, you're just gonna push forward and straighten that leg. Push forward, inner thigh, quads, booty, and straight back, okay? But then I thought we're gonna make this a little bit more interesting so that we can add some oblique action into this, so you get a little bit more from each move. I'm gonna turn this direction with my weights. You don't have to use weights again. My knees pointed that way. My arm's gonna be out, and I'm going to push and then push, and I'm really pushing this arm forward as well as this knee forward, and just this right here really gets those obliques involved. Makes your shoulder blade stronger too as you're holding your weights or whatever, fists, hands, band, whatever you're using. So again, arms out if you feel like it, or arms just, at your side, whatever feels good at your waist. I'm going to have arms out, and I'm going to push and then both directions. So I'm coming back to center and maybe like 2 inches past center. All right, exercise number 3. I'm going to demonstrate 2 ways because I'm not with you in your house and I don't know what your limitations are, how strong you are, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm going to show you the way I would like for you to do it with or without weights, and then the way I'd like for you to do it if you are not quite as strong, have more back issues, and have a hard time squatting while holding your arms overhead. I probably will change that up rep to rep, but you do what feels best for you. So ideally it would be just this overhead reach, no weight. You're going to just scoop your arms with some sort of weight or resistance. You're going to lift to right up here, okay? So it's just going to be a lift in a chair pose. We're going to hold, 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 and right back up. Lift, hold, right back up. Now for those of you who may need a little bit more of a stretch or a little bit injured or are not quite necessarily strong enough to really lift those arms, palms overhead, you can do sort of a deadlifty, child pose-ish kind of squat. And that's just going to look like this, where you're going to reach, drop your butt as much as you can, and right back. So you're going to kind of give you a bear hug, and then right back down. Again, great for the shoulders and pretty good for those triceps. So we're going to go back to exercise number 1. I'm going to do 25 of each of these, and I typically would not take a break in between exercises, so you decide if you need one. Take about 10 seconds and just get right back to it. We'll just see how it goes as I'm doing this. So I'm checking my heart rate, about 160 at the moment. It's going to go a little bit higher. So if it gets a little bit too high, I will take a little bit of a break. But first exercise, I'm going to do 25 on each side. So curl and reach overhead. And again, I'm going to pivot because that feels best for me. And you do what feels best for you. And I am counting on my fingers so that I know how many of these I'm doing. So that's 10. That's 15. And I'm trying not to talk through this whole thing, but that should be 20, 23, I'm gonna drop that arm, 24, curl it and press it. All right, so that's 25. Let's go to the other side. Toes are pointed out. And I am sort of bending a little bit, just bad habits that not bad habits, but habits I've created over the years of doing these types of exercises. So you do what works best for you. So curl, press, and I'm pivoting. You don't have to pivot, but I like getting the upper and lower body involved so that you get a little calorie burn and you create some balance there. So that should be 11. And this is 18. Three, 24, 25. Now these 1 pound bags are extremely light for me, but we'll just see how I feel once I'm done with this workout. All right, exercise number 2. I'm gonna go this direction. This toe is pointed out, this toe is pointed forward, arms are out, and my feet are really, really wide. And I'm just going to lean, push that knee out, and Let me know when you start to feel it in your booty. For beginners, it's going to be about 10 to 12 reps. And for people who are more consistent exercisers, intermediate or advanced, you just may not feel it until you get closer to the 25. So that should be 21. I may have miscounted, so I'm just going to add 5 more for just in case. And my left side needs a little bit more work than my right side because it's a little bit weaker than my injured side. All right, toe out, toe forward, arms out, and my feet again are really wide. You decide how wide your feet should be. And as you're holding your arms up like this, you're gonna start to feel a little bit of burn, which is good. Helps get some extra muscle activation, gives you a little bit of toning if you do this a fair number of times or often. That's the better word. That's 15. And 5 more. All right, I got a fair amount of burn happening in my biceps, so I'm just going to shake it out a little bit. Maybe reach overhead, a couple of circles, reach forward and back. All right. The thing I forgot to mention with exercise number 3, I do want you to hold. I want you to hold for about 3 seconds. You can hold for 1 second if you're a beginner. We'll just kind of see how I feel as I go along. Because sometimes it starts out great, and other times my body says it's time to calm it down a little bit. All right, so take your weights if you're using them, or not weights, and you're going to squat down and hold, right back up. And since I'm double counting, I'm counting my hold and I'm counting my reps. I'm not necessarily going to talk as much during this portion. That should be 10. That's 15. This should be 20. And 5 more. Last one. All right, shake it out, shake your legs out, and make sure that you stretch at the end of your workout. I am going to take some time with my foam roller once I cool down a little bit. That was 125 reps, and I will put all the details, hold on, details in the description, and I will see you Monday for some work for your abs. Have a great weekend and stay healthy.